Hello you lot, it's been ages since I've been dreaming that I can finally sit here. I've got a new table in the dining room and record here for a change. So I just want to kind of change my backgrounds up anyway, but just this video is not about my backgrounds. This video is it's a story that I want to share, and I'm sure he won't mind. So in case you don't know, my dad passed away. It'd be 5 years in January, which is absolutely crazy. I can't believe it's been so long. And he was a man that was really well respected and really well liked. And he used to kind of allow things into life without giving it too much, trying to sway things this way or that way, or grumbling about things. And I've not quite put that the right way, but it'd be very long to explain that completely as it is. But this morning I was listening to Abraham Hicks, and I want to make another video on what your thoughts are on Abraham Hicks and is it a real thing or not. I think that's a really good debate to have. But with my dad, when he passed away, I sort of thought all of that stuff that we, like the likes of me, would have worried about and tried to change, he never did. And he kind of he had an opinion about it, and he did used to have his complaints, but he just used to let things be, knowing that the here and now was what mattered and that was what was okay. And when he died, I should have got I've got this mug. I should have got one. I've got a mug with Desiderata written on it. I'll link below actually. I've got a blog post where I wrote the words for I didn't write them, I copied them over, what Desiderata means. And my dad kept so much inside, and I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but what I do think sometimes is the right thing to do is worry less and allow the flow a little bit more. Because Dad was always, do you like my flowers as well, aren't they cute? Look at them. So Dad was always that man that sort of like didn't strive to be the best version of himself in life. Again, don't necessarily agree with that, but it did have an air of peace about it. And stay with me because this will make sense if it doesn't already. So he was very, he just sort of cruised through and left things as they were, knowing what's here and now is kind of okay. So on the Abraham Hicks I was watching this morning, they said, what do you want? And ultimately we all want the same, to be happy. We all want to be free, and generally being free means being happy, and there's other ways of making it so that it means that you are happy and you are living a joyous life. Because if you're not happy, you could have all the money in the world. I mean, there's loads of things out there on YouTube, programs you can watch where celebrities have said, like, I've got all this, but I'm feeling like that. So a lot of people who are in might be in a poor man's mindset, or accepting there's a lot of lack going on in their life, and they just think, I'll be happy then when I get this, or I'll be happy when I get that. And it isn't about that at all, is it? It really isn't. It is about living that moment. Now, through this period of time that we're in right now, how many people have you heard say, oh, because I'm working from home now, I'm getting to see the children a lot more, which is lovely, seeing them growing up. I mean, I know that comes with its challenges as well, but so dads who might leave home before it's daylight in the morning and come home when it's, and the kids are already in bed, they're missing out on so much. And even going and walking in the woods, I mean, I know that's my thing, but I've seen so many people posting it. I was going over some edits actually for the book, and loads of people saying about the Bluebell Woods. Do you remember they used to post about Bluebell Woods back in, I don't know when that is that in May? But look, because loads of us were going out for that 1 hour a day walk that we was allowed. I don't know where you're from, obviously loads of you are from Canada and the States and Australia. So, but in the UK we was given an hour where we could go out and exercise. So everyone was going out and walking and seeing these amazing Bluebell Woods, where it's just rows and rows of bluebells, taking photos and putting them online. And what is there in that other than complete joy? There isn't any purpose to seeing that and feeling that. Well, there is, but that's deep. I will get into that in another video actually. That's called something that I'm studying right now, that I'm researching. But I hope you kind of get where I'm going with this. So it's about sometimes being present, being in the now. This video is trying to bring lots of things together. It's also about just allowing things to be as they are. I will tell you a bit more of a story about Dad, and it might make a bit more sense, and I hope I don't get emotional. But Dad was a very loving man, but he had this massive bubble around him and he didn't let it out. And even, you know, that was really tough growing up and having that, because I felt it, but it just wasn't there. And that was really quite difficult, because you wanted him to express it or to show it in some way. A cuddle, a kiss on the cheek, a pat on the head, I'm proud of you, you're doing really well, something like that. And it wasn't there, but I could feel it and I knew it was. And when he died, there was a slip of paper that he always said, there's this bit of paper near the sewing box in the cupboard underneath the fish tank. And on that bit of paper, he'd written down his songs that he wanted played at his funeral, and this reading, and I didn't know, and it was Desiderata. And he said it's in the little bedroom, which was my old bedroom, on the wall. And I'd never even seen it, never even noticed it. And I'd gone there, and it'd been there all these years, and he used that as his office, where he could get away from mum. And I know, as awful as that sounds, but it's just a fact, you know. So he used to leave her to watch the telly. He would be in the back room, kind of like kitchen diner, doing the cooking and stuff like that. And then she'd go and watch telly, and he'd go upstairs to his office with this Desiderata on the wall behind him. And if you read the words, there's so much to it. And I was absolutely devastated that there'd been this spiritual man who had kept a lid on that, and he'd not shared that he was so spiritual, and he'd not shared that, you know, he had all of this inside him. But the beauty of that, because there's always, you know, there's this balance, isn't there? The beauty of that is that he was peaceful in his now. You'd always see Dad sort of doing things very slowly and very accepting and very, you know, it was what it was kind of thing. And I think a lot of us who strive because we want this amazing life, and that's me, so I'm not criticising and saying that that's wrong, but it's trying to get that little balance of what Dad had without having to not be who you are, coupled in with striving but being okay with where you are now. Now, I went through a little bit of a brain fart this morning, I'm going to call it, and a bit of a moment as in like, where am I going? What am I doing? What is this all about? And as you know, I sit and write every morning, and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I did some sums and I figured things out, and I thought things are actually okay. So what was that mind chatter that was going on, and how can I shush it up? And it's accepting that here and now we're okay, we're fine, we're happy. You know, if you're not happy, it can be a blip, can't it? You can be happier again. And I just thought there's something in that I wanted to share. And then hearing the Abraham Hicks thing and thinking of my dad, because he was, just like I say, he was this man who never was what he wanted to be. He never was allowed to be that loving person, giving love to his wife, because she was always, her hands were always up like this and don't come near me, which is a shame. And I can remember as a little girl sitting on his lap. She and I had loggerheads, and I was only little, and I said, Dad, how do you put up with it? And he said, oh, I just grown a shell over me. And that was the end of conversation. Isn't that terribly sad? I wouldn't want to. I'd rather not be that unhappy through another person in the way that other person is being towards you. I'd rather omit that person from my life, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Tell me what you think, and if you're like that. But he always forfeited who he was for her on an external level, but inside he didn't. And clearly he was sort of at peace. He was sort of okay with where things were. He did definitely live in the now. Like, he was a gardener, and he'd be out doing plants and things, and he'd be very much like, this is pretty, looking at it, appreciating the beauty of it, and that was it. You know, that was kind of where his life was at. And for me, I want more, but I want a little injection of that sometimes, you know. And I can be really pleased by the simple things, and can you as well? Like I say, the nature, walking in the beauty of nature, it definitely grounds you, it definitely makes you here and now, rather than this big picture of, you know, I'm starting to really miss travel now. And I know a lot of you come to this channel because of the travel content. I am really starting to miss that. But the time off has been quite nice. I say time off, I've been working obviously, but time off from travel, because it can be also exhausting, can't it? But we all desire these things. One of my candles has just gone out. We all desire these things, but then we get to the airport and we're like, oh, you know, and it's sort of like, oh, this is the thing with Abraham Hicks. I should have saved that and link it down there. But Do you try and go and get on a plane and think, right, how long is it going to take us to get from the car park to the airport, and how are we going to get there, and where's the bus going to be, what does the bus driver look like, and will we get our things on there? And then when we get into the airport, is it a walkway, is it a staircase, have we got to get on a little truck thing and go beep, beep, beep through the thing? And do you think of all these things? Is it going to be on time, is it going to be delayed? Or do you try and think, we're going to the airport, we're going to go away for a break, how wonderful, and let all those details fill themselves in as they will? Because don't get me wrong, we've all had those times when you'd be sat on the plane, you're buckled up, ready to take off, and then over it comes, hello everybody, this is the captain. Oh, here we go. You know, you've missed your slot. You've got to sit buckled up in that seat. You can't go anywhere or do anything for the next 45 minutes. And you're like, oh, you hear it in the plane, it's like, oh God. But it's frustrating, but you get there, you get the other side. It's always that little bit stressful, isn't it? Going through, are they going to nab your bags and go through it? And are you going to get cross-examined? But you park all of that because you know you're going to get there and you're going to have a lovely time. And I just think we need to try and do that, just that little bit more, just that reminder. Like at the minute, we don't know what's going on in the world. We don't know how it's all going to pan out, but it will. And you know, there's some pretty shocking things going on out there, aren't there? But it will be okay. So try and just stay in your moment, stay in your now, stay grounded, smell the flowers, and know that there's no rain, no flowers. I mean, that book is finished. Oh my God. Well, it's not finished. The first draft is finished, which is generally means there's a lot of editing to do. And the lovely Ronnie, I know you might be watching, and I know you won't mind me saying, wrote a poem entitled No Rain, No Flowers, and I think that's got to go in the book somewhere in amongst there because it's just great. I love that terminology. In fact, it's on the back of, I've got a phone cover that says No Rain, No Flowers, and that is going to be the cover of the book as well, because it just says everything, doesn't it? You know, sometimes we like the sunny days and the blue skies, but you're going to have that rain in order to get the beauty of the flowers and smelling them. These are just opening up, and I love the smell. My favourite flowers, really, the oriental lilies or the stargazers, and I love that smell. It smells to me a bit like ylang ylang, you know, the essential oil. Anyway, I'm digressing really now, but I've had an edited video up for you every day this week, and you seem to be appreciating that because my stats on this channel have really taken a, whatever that is, opposite to a nosedive, that. So thank you. And I didn't want to not upload today, so here we are. If I can, I'm going to edit later. I've still got some brilliant videos to come out, some Center Parcs ones. I hope you enjoyed the Stratford-upon-Avon one. I really enjoyed editing that, and we definitely want to do more. It was lovely to work with the hotel when we was up there, and obviously again when we're all a little bit more free, we will be doing some stuff like that again, hopefully with Jasmine in tow. She can get time off work and stuff. So the future is looking very bright for this channel, and I'm very excited. So thanks for being here as always. Please do speak to me in the comments because I love that when we get chatting. And if you haven't subscribed, which you probably have if you're this far in, then please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye bye for now.